So, hello and welcome. UX Research Call number 29. We're almost at number 30. Time is flying. This is the call for Geyser Fund. It is the Geyser Fund. It is the UX Research Call, and the discussion of this call is going to be research to products. How do we bring the research that we've done directly into the product itself in a very actionable, practical way? And yeah, the three people on this call have been the three people that have been running with us all the way through to the end. So Jenna, really round of applause, and also to Metamake as well. There's a lot to catch up and collaborate on this call. So I know Jenna has put together a presentation, which I think is a really nice way to kick off the call with. So Jenna, if you don't mind me giving the floor over to you.
Sure.
Do you want me?
Yeah, I don't know. Would you share it again, though?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the
Thank
screen
you.
sharing didn't seem to quite be working on that side, so we'll just start off here.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, I put this presentation together to try to tell the story of exactly what we've been doing since July for Geyser. So this is just to identify what the reason is for doing this, the background, and set out exactly what the initiative was, which was defined by helping Geyser gain valuable insights that would improve product, marketing, and strengthen vision. And I really liked the initiatives that were set out from the beginning, which was open source research, building in public, experimental research. And then here's a little bit about me here. I got involved just through the connections I had made and like attending the Austin Bitcoin Design Club that's shown here, working at Pleb Lab, and then joining the Bitcoin Design Community Discord where all of this has been facilitated. So that's that. So this is defining exactly what we did from the start. The goals that we set was to, over a period of 3 months, target 3 methods: the heuristic, review, analysis, the jobs to be done, interviews, and then the interpreting everything we found there into the user journey maps. So we were reaching out to the undiscovered user base to understand how they use Geyser.
Very nice. I love how you put this together. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great context.
Yeah. This context is so nice because we've been sprinting from July and now it's end September, so we've been in this 3-month period of this that we've done, which I think is also nice for other projects watching this to know that you can still build and do research at the same time. They've been done in
Oh, yeah.
and it's a short time. It's 3 months, so it's not that much time. Go ahead.
Oh, so this is just the first set of those 3, the heuristic analysis. I thought it was a good way to kind of, like I say here at the bottom, it was giving a large group of researchers with wide-ranging skills and experience a way into the project to become familiar with Geyser, to be the researcher as user at first. So what we did was to just browse Geyser.fund with curiosity, say, if I was going to do this, how would I do it? What will this do? How do I think this will happen? How can I make this thing happen? Just trying to be open and just click around, see what we run into. So out of that came the user issues, which is a table that we funneled all of these things into. We sorted them by priority, by their type, a description of them, where they happen on the website, and then we proposed a surface level solution. So I thought this was a great first thing to do. It kind of got everyone familiar with Geyser. Like I said, and then it was something that we were able to run independently. But then when we came together to speak about it in our meeting, the Bitcoin design community meeting, like this one we're having now, everyone had something to say. Everyone had something to contribute and collaborate with. It was kind of like a ping pong action, you know. I found this when I was doing it. Oh, I found this too, but then it led me to this. And so the conversation really came out of that.
Yeah, perfect.
So from there, then we did the user interviews. And I got a lot out of doing this, specifically figuring out how to run an interview. That was really helpful. I got a lot of help from you two, helping me form the interview questions. So I also linked that here, that Google Doc that we were collaborating on. And then also doing good note taking and kind of going back, revising, doing better note taking the next time. And I also know that's just going to continue to get better as I continue to do it. And so out of that, we were connecting what we found to the jobs to be done. That was a list that Geyser you had already created. So we were adding to it, filling it in, and also adjusting for any gaps that we found or any missing user stories that we found. So this list here, this jobs to be done list, these are the ones that I connected what I found to and primarily used.
Yep. Next one.
Yeah, that's something I still haven't done, to be honest. Is taking your all those issues and bring them over to the jobs to be done. It's just
Yeah,
that's really important.
that was a long list, I think. Okay, so then the third one, kind of where everything comes together, was to build the user personas, the creator persona, the contributor persona, and understand where the current solution works, where it may not work, where it may need improvement, according to what jobs is this user coming to the website to get done. So in the middle there, I've listed that same jobs to be done, and then tried to make it obvious what I'm trying to tell you here. So for the creators, in discovering Geyser, what's going well is that someone sees another project that's like theirs on Geyser, so they want to get on Geyser. So there's this competition to get seen, and then the most important things I feel like that came up for how the current solution is not working is creators having a passive attitude after launching a project or while launching a project, not sure what to do next, which feeds into like all the rest of those jobs to be done. If you're not sure what to do, you don't know you need to do all the next things. Get found and seen, get community involved, get insights. So kind of making that more clear. And then the other thing was contributors want to vet the project before they fund the project. So they want to see your proof of work. So those were the two kind of most important things. I feel like the things that came up most in discussions as we were talking about it was kind of, do the creators know what to do next? Do the contributors feel they have a good understanding of the projects they're looking at and where they're at in their progress? So that will take us to, unless you guys have anything to say, that'll take us to kind of my insights and
What
how
was
I
the
put them
final
together.
point you made? What was the final point you made? I feel like I missed it.
The contributors want to see proof of work. Oh, they're unsure where to look.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
For insights, yeah.
In terms of wanting to see the proof of work, not sure where to look, as in going to the Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, unsure where to look. Like, yeah, so maybe I'm following the project on Twitter, but the project, maybe the creator also has like this progress, these updates on their like Geyser page. Do those two like communicate their Twitter profile and their Geyser profile?
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so this one.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of just how I was thinking about it. This is how your work goes into Geyser, your community goes into Geyser. That's where they need to meet. It's like the two-sided marketplace. How do we make it more robust? I think you do that by focusing on the creator because there's nothing there without the creator. So that's why I'm I'm putting together this. I think the focus can go to the creator's dashboard, and I think this is already being built. I think you showed us like a bit of that. You log in and you see this menu as a creator. So all of these things I've listed here are just things that I think should be true of the creator's user experience once they're logged into Geyser, is that they can manage multiple projects. Um, they will be able to understand how different things they do are received or rewarded, whether it's like updating the progress, cross-posting to Noster, seeing how those like help them to get to their goals and help them set the next goals. It should be true that the projects get noticed more when you appear on the homepage, the popular spot, and when you're adding things to your profile to present this proof of work side to the community.
Like that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I this is so good, and I think mixed presentations can be a lot more extensive than mine. But my one also actually leans into the creative side of things.
Yeah,
So I'd like to jump in and share my little bit,
yeah,
and then we can finish. Have Mick have the largest chunk, but
Oh no, please,
yes.
please don't, please don't. I have to show you what we've already done. So, but no,
but
this is
yeah,
fantastic.
Mick. Like, what are your thoughts on this, Mick? When you look at it, like when you see this.
Yeah, so I think the so yeah, it's kind of like it's really it's trying to compress and synthesize the things that we've discussed, and I really like that you're taking a stance. The creator's priority is that issue with the passive attitude. 100% agree. Very very important. Um, I guess maybe in terms of that, my follow up question would be, well, they have a passive attitude. Well, like why do they have a passive attitude? Um, is it that like we've done our job of creating a project? Um, is it yeah? So I think that kind of follow up questions of yeah. I think you mentioned that it's not clear what the next steps should be. Um, and there's not much that you can actually do in Geyser right now. So I guess that kind of explains it.
Yes.
Um, want the proof of work. I totally agree with that. And then I think from these creator dashboard points, I can make and manage multiple projects here. Yeah, I can see how well my efforts are received and rewarded. Very very important. Notifications. Like I can already start thinking about. I love how this is structured as you're not even um, you're not like prescribing a product feature. You're keeping it broad at the what problem do I want solved, right? So I
Mm-hmm,
can see well my efforts are received and rewarded. Really, really well done. And I
mm-hmm,
know what I can tweak to
mm-hmm,
achieve my goals. Again, kind of related to insights and improvements. And then my project is noticed more. This is so, so important. When I complete for homepage spot and make notes on my profile. And so yeah, this is also good. Um, I'll probably just say keep it. I don't know if it's really if we should focus so much on the when it compete for the homepage spot, but I think it's actually correct though because the homepage doesn't have to be the trending. The homepage could be something else. So
yeah,
by creating updates, well, your project is going to be sitting uh, on someone's homepage. So that's good as well. Basically, I do stuff, and then people recognize it, and stuff happens,
yeah,
and make noise for the profile. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Like at the homepage, there it could be like you're saying. It doesn't have to be one thing. It could be like there's a space where we feature someone who like ship the most this week, and that's what I compete for, or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a very interesting approach, you know. You take sort of, and it's so, I'm really enjoying this because the approach of Jenna is very different to my approach, which I'll share
Oh
just,
yeah.
which is going to be very different to Mick's approach. So we're going to be experiencing three different approaches to how research goes into products.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. It's just making my researcher brain just light up.
Nice. Good
So
stuff.
yeah, thank you very much for putting that together, Gianna. It's really
Totally. Thanks
nice,
so
and
much.
Yeah.
I hope it helps
Yeah.
you with anything in your future or anything like that. Yeah. So
Helps me see even what I've learned through doing this too,
yeah,
which has been a
absolutely,
lot.
absolutely.
Uh,
Hey, oh, John's is here as well. Nice. Hey,
Hey,
always
Johns.
nice to see John's. So, John's, yeah, we're basically going to now experience three different approaches on how research goes to practice. Ah, there he is with his hair. I love it.
Hey, hey, hey. Been a while,
Cute.
been a...
So
Okay,
nice
this
to
is...
see you again.
I came in a bit late, so I didn't get the full
Oh, we
context.
started late as well. Don't worry.
You're good. You're good. You're good. So Jenna just she's been the hands-on person doing actually doing the work. So she's been doing the research, speaking to the users. And this call was each of us saying, okay, we've done all of the research. How would we individually approach the thing of taking research into product? And Gianna now presented hers with the thing with the presentation, and I'm going to present mine now, which is very different. So I took a different approach, which I'm going to share here. So I moved everything into my workspace here on. Okay, so I will share. How do I do this? I can share a section, right? So. I think if I do this and I click share section, something like this, well, I'll share this document and then you can just go to the Mo workspace. So here we are. So I approach things differently. I could have spent a whole bunch more time on this, but um, I wanted to like approach it from like really the actual practical design perspective, which is actually design solutions. So what I did is I took the jobs to be done creator jobs to be done document, and I focused on one thing. I just said, okay, which one of these do I think would be fun to redesign? So I looked at update on progress. So the update on progress was one of the jobs to be done as a creator, and similar to Jenna, I focused on the creators as well. And one of the problems or the things with the creators was that they can't show their proof of work easily on Geyser, lack of ability to cross post from other sites, already updating on Twitter, but it's an effort to post on Geyser, lack of understanding on what contributors come back to read. So I focused on those two, how our solution does not work. And that came out of the research. So I took things really practical. I thought, well, where could this be in the UI? I came to the product, the individual pages of the creators, and I thought, okay, so they would have regular updates. So I actually added in a tab here called updates with a newspaper icon, and I thought that they could have some updates which they could write from within their dashboard on whatever they were working on, and they could have that being shareable as a call to action. So, you know, I know Nostra has no logo, but I took some Nostra logo I found and I put in the Twitter logo and I put in some text here, and then someone could click in that and actually read the updates. Um, in a very practical way. So it gives the sense of credibility because someone arrives at this page. Oh, it's the Bitcoin. It's actually, this is a little bit, it's so good John's is here. Yeah, it's so good John's is here. Because this is also a little bit of some of the, you know, I'm getting a feel of the Bold Fun website as well, which we can possibly also take some inspiration from, which is it's that sort of that very updating, very collaborative, very open working process of what's going on. I think you could also take inspiration from Bold Fun now that I'm actually thinking about it. Um, and then the other option I thought about is creating this very open. Maybe this could be a stronger call to action to really initiate want the maybe ask could even be here as a button, and something really pulling people to connect with the project and have those open communication channels. And then the questions that are asked, I didn't finish the design process, could actually be here, because those questions that other people who want to contribute ask could somehow be shown here, so that all of the responses and the communication is open, public, and transparent. So yeah, that's kind of just taking one very small bucket here and looking at how that could be a practical design solution. That's pretty much it for me. That's it. So yeah.
That's
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it's go ahead,
I re-
Jans. Yeah.
yeah, I really like the ask thing because I do believe Kickstarter used to have some kind of like way to show some updates or question listing on their pages as well. Like I can't remember if it's exactly that, but it also reminds me of kind of like, you know, yeah, it's like, it's instead of somebody doing a DM to ask like the same thing over and over, right? It could be kind of like content that gets created for the project, and for everyone, not just like in that one-to-one situation, because that could be a little bit of a overhead for people for bigger campaigns, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The yeah, both are really really important. Sharing updates, sharing what's new, and having that two-way feedback loop.
Mhm.
And yeah, I like how you like took one issue and kind of went down right into the design implementation. I think that's an interesting other way of doing it. Well, so kind of going deep in the vertical, I'll Flatboy kind of went horizontally. I'll layer down into the okay, research, product. Well, not really actually. It was more like research kind of um, solutions. Like these are the problems. Well, I want this to be solved in these ways without actually prescribing yet anything design wise or even
Mm.
feature wise, right?
Yeah.
Which I think can get, which I like because it can kind of keep the you can kind of you can do like you can come up with 20 different ways of solving that specific um, user requirements.
Yeah, I
So
think we could all like separately have like a feature that we would think of out of
Yeah.
maybe those things I was saying.
yeah,
I think that's why Bold Fun also came to mind, which is so nice that Johns is here. So kind of the stories bit of Bold Fun would kind of be like would be
The
that
ask.
update section, So the
Yeah,
stories is almost
Oh
like
yeah.
update section.
I don't think this is a good example
No?
because there's a lot of things that are kind of like there's no two-way anything going on here, right?
you
It's
have commentary, you have comments on the stories, right?
yeah, but we don't like yeah. So there's no show of that there, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And actually, like a bit of feedback that we get, and I think yeah, if it's relevant for you guys, it's that like how do I like people still have trouble getting in touch with the creators or the makers and stuff because people are looking at profiles individually and those kind of things. It's like how do you do it? You can go all the Twitter and the this and the that, but it's still there's still a level of friction there for folks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
So yeah, I don't know if necessarily this is a good example. I think yeah, Kickstarter. Yeah, we
Now,
our UX is horrible.
yeah, I think
Actually,
what it's surprisingly similar to what we have. Like it's one really cool thing you guys have implemented is you have different makers joining the same project, and that's something we're gonna do as well, but we haven't done yet because we want to assign different roles to different creators. And yeah, I mean you've done that, but yeah, definitely something that we will do. And but I agree with you, John, that I think the stories are a bit like our long form entries, whereas I
Mm,
think updates have to be short, have to be
mm,
punchy,
mm.
and have to be interactive. And
Mhm.
Mm.
yeah, that's what we're building now. We're building these notes. We're not calling. We're actually thinking of calling them updates, but we're gonna just call them notes, like Nostr notes.
And
Yeah.
then, sorry to jump off here as well, but I think this is also really nice as well because this is bringing exposure to similar projects, um, which is
which makes sense here, but for
Mhm.
the creator, I think creators on Geyser see their projects as their projects, as like
Mm,
their place.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we thought about that quite a bit, but we thought that, for our creators, they want to kind of, if anything, they might want to list projects that they recommend, other
Mhm.
projects that they're interested in.
Mm.
A bit like Substack does that, for example. You can recommend other Substacks.
Mm.
But when it comes to Geyser, yeah, creators so far, yeah, we wanna. In fact, we wanna go further and give them actually the ability of creating a Geyser subdomain. So like,
Nice.
yeah, it's like Substack, and you
Yep.
get your subdomain. It's really your home. It's your website.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
a way to really easily create a website and launch your project without having to buy domain, without having to do all this
Oh
effort.
yeah.
I
Wow.
It
think
really has to be on the home of the project.
I
Mm,
this gives people like ownership and stuff. There's a few examples of like like Humi and like Linktree and those kind of
Hmm.
things,
Hmm.
like having similarities again, but for Geyser, this could kind of like oh actually could be super cool. Like the Linktree style thing is like here's my campaign, here's my subdomain, and people always put it in their bios and stuff.
Yeah.
To get people to do that. Um, because it only shows their things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? It can show their
mm.
updates. It can show their updates. It can show like here's how to fund me. Um, Maybe you choose whether or not you want to show badges because that ties it to your platform more, right?
But what do you mean though? Do you mean with the Linktree idea? I'm sure.
So
Okay.
so Linktree, let me. Oh, I don't know if I
I mean,
let me
I,
get
I've
the
I know
example.
Linktree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So there's another example. I think it's called Humi. Or do you know this website, Humi? Yeah, there's another example of it, but it actually allows you to like besides the links, it allows you to put like snippets of your articles and stuff like that from other places, right?
Hmm.
So this could be like a Geyser micro app where you could launch one of these pages,
Interesting. Yeah.
right? And
Interesting.
then you
Yeah.
say, and nice colorful background, the green background, or you could choose some colors or whatever, make it your own. You get that ownership part,
Oh yeah.
right? And then I don't know if it's relating to the challenges that you guys are on and trying to catch up, but now you have this ownership of this part of the website. That's ultimately it.
I like that.
That's
Yeah.
a very good
Your part.
idea. Did we take notes on what John said? Because he said some good stuff, but I feel like my brain lost it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm taking notes here.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
a lot to take in.
Something that I think something that Mick you were saying earlier made me had an idea about the way Mo how you presented your design idea, and then something that could connect also with one of the things I was detailing. You were saying updates need to be short and
Mhm.
need to be shareable. So that makes me think like Mo, how you had presented like this is my update right here. You hadn't filled in any text. Well, you had the lorem ipsum text. I wonder if updating is always in like a format that like Geyser defines a format,
Mhm.
and then an updates can sort of be uniform, and so that makes it more like you understand you're looking at an update more immediately across projects,
Mhm.
and that also serves for like the creator, like okay, my next step is to create an update. I know what an update is because it's going to follow this format every time, you know.
Yeah, like a
Mm.
like a template of sorts.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you
Like
guys have that at both of Fun, right? You have update templates in the entry.
It is really helpful for folks, yes, when they want to, yeah, like we're trying to like increase engagement on the site and like help people like see it as like a community because it's actually that, but we haven't like really put time into it. So before, like during the tournaments, you don't have time. You want to put the because that's the other thing. We have the time constraints
Oh
for
yeah.
updates, right? So it's like here's a quick template that you can use. Some people end up doing their own thing. With regards of the sharing of the post, because I saw there was a item on there for sharing post. Can't show proof of work. Can't show proof of work easily on Geyser. Um, yeah. Some of the kind of updates could also be categorized, right? So,
Hmm. Yeah.
this is XYZ progress of like the
Some of the
development.
updates can be what? I didn't catch that.
The audio is a little bit, how could you say, not too clear. I don't
Muffled,
know.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't know. Can
Yeah,
you hear it better now?
yeah, it's better
Right.
now. Yeah, yeah.
Better now? Okay, yeah, I was saying that you can have
To
Some of the
kind of
updates can
categorize.
be
like updates. I don't know
categorized.
if
Okay.
you guys have it as yet, and then you can have
Yeah.
like some quick add buttons for like this is an update on like the development. This is an update on like just from the team. This is an update from XYZ. And then after that, you can have like uh make sure like encourage people make sure to share this, right? So usually on some of these websites they have like the little pop-up, do you also want to share on XYZ, and then you can press a button and it pre-fills. So, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, totally. That's exactly it. Maybe I could show you what we're working on actually, and you guys can give feedback.
Yes, let's
Maybe,
go.
Go for it. So
Flipwood's like
now,
finally.
Nick, completely handing it over to you now.
Uh,
So show us how you would take research to product, please.
well,
Yeah.
I can do that, or I can just show you over
Go
building.
for it. Whatever you want to share.
Okay. Um, so yeah, I think just quickly looking at how we would approach it. I think that makes sense. Just quickly look high level. Um, so yeah, we use Notion a lot, right? We use Notion a lot.
Notion's great.
Yeah. So we have these this product channel, and as you can see here, you got the user issues. So the
Hmm.
user issues that you guys worked on helped a lot. And actually, what we did here is that we then went through with them and we assigned them a priority score, like how bad is this issue? I think I forget what the max was. I think it was like 10. And
Mm.
then we kind of clean them up, sort them by the page. So this is the about page. You can see the screen, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You see the landing page, right? You kind of sort them easily, and you've
Oh
got
yeah.
the issue and the description of the issue, and like we kind of clean it up a little bit. And then basically what we would do is I went through the beginning of it, and I kind of essentially worked on some solutions or ideas to these issues. And so, and then actually our designer Awal would do the same. So we would like, okay, he would maybe like write his ideas, and then we would set up either a call to go through them together. So we basically decide what is the best solutions. Some of these actually were suggestions from you guys. Some of those were my solutions. Others were Awal's. And then we came together, and then we actually did this. And then what I asked them to do is to, okay, now that we have the high level product kind of product feature, product solution. Well, now that we have it, we can actually start creating some designs for them. And so
Oh wow.
I asked the wall to go through each of these things and produce some. I don't know why it's not showing, but this should show as designs. Oh, there you go. So sometimes here there were the issues, and so Awal would come here, build a design in Figma, and then we would look at it through here. And the reason why we would look at it through here is that we don't want to kind of get too caught on in the details of like the Figma implementation. We still want to keep it kind of, okay, this is a good solution, and then maybe you have some small details, and then this gives it really makes it really easy to go step by step from problem to problem, right? So you got
Oh
here,
yeah.
you got this one. It's taking a little bit to load, but yeah, you can see this one here, for example. Maybe choose a fewer font styles and rethink priority of information. It's basically saying that like the landing page feels cluttered, and so we kind of realized, okay, because there's many different fonts, and so we all kind of redesigned. This is actually not, it's not the final one, but just to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we've done that, then we can then we have the designs kind of already ready for that. And then what we do is that we take this issue and we move it to linear, which is what we use to work. So you can see here our roadmaps. We had a landing page redesign, funding flow redesign, project page redesign. And so within here,
Oh.
you have all these issues uh, that were first design issues that are finalized, and they're connected to the to the to the front end issue. Right? So yeah, and linear is
This
great.
is some connected stuff. Could you, the part
Yeah.
that I'm interested in is, could you show us? I love how that's directly. This is very like specific. It's like this is what's going to be done. These are the solutions. I love this, and everything's in one place. Could you show the connection between Notion and the other?
Yeah. So yeah, good question, and it changes from place to place. Let's see here. It's maybe not always connected. Um, so this is another one, right? Like the summary section of the project felt too cluttered, and so we realized, okay, what if we remove the tags, the links, and the risks, and just put them below? So like we keep
Whoa.
it super
Yeah.
clean at the top, and we put the details at the bottom.
Mm,
Um, to kind of prioritize things a little bit differently. And
Oh, yeah.
so in this case, we just linked the Figma directly. I think I just went step by step each of these, because once you have the solution and the design solution, we didn't need to link it to linear anymore. We could just to Notion anymore. We just linked it to the Figma directly.
Yeah.
gotcha. So you click from that user problem in Notion. Once you decide, okay, we're happy to implement the design into solution into development, you move it into linear, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, we work on this design, and yeah, I would probably say so. Yeah, we do that, and also at the same time connect it to Figma, because that's just where we work. Um, see here, yeah. So the crazy thing of linear is that it allows you to connect. So see here, for example, these are all the updates, the links to the Figma, and then you have a link. You can create a relation to the front end task. So you can click here, and you can see that this is still to do,
Oh.
but the front end developer can just click on the related task and go to the designs.
And then they get all of the information about that task too
That's
when they're
exactly
looking
right.
at it. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And it's like, because at every step of the process, you have to still keep that record of problem and solution. Even at this level, every
Mm.
single task on Geyser has an issue and a solution, and then that the front end developers can also look at to get the context. If it's lost, it's harder for them to know what's going on.
Right.
And I make shared this with me previously a few months ago, but I'm just also sharing this in the chat here, so it's open for everyone to see. Is this the right link, Nick? Is linear.app.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, it's just a super powerful tool, man. Super powerful tool. I mean, a lot of people like using GitHub, but for product management, creating relations, Linear is just another level. It's free to use up to a certain number of issues, and then it's, I think, $7-8 per person. But it's so
Oh.
worth it. It makes you so much more productive as a team.
Johns, do you have some experience with linear? Because you seem to be like nodding your head and yeah.
No, it's looking really nice, and I definitely agree that GitHub is kind of like like it lacks some of the project management tools. They have some new stuff recently, but it's just it's not it, and it's still kind of like developer-y and repository kind of
Right.
focused.
Right.
Um, I really like Linear. I use ClickUp. It's really bad. That's my
Oh no,
go-to.
dude, Linear is the one tool that we used to use Jira, and we
Yeah.
hated it. Linear just it's joy. Like to use.
So that's really cool.
Oh wait, I'm still screen sharing. Yeah, let me show you.
Hmm.
Let me show you. So okay, it's a little slow. But so in Linear, you can create these really good connections with with Figma, as you saw. You drop a link, it renders, and Notion as well. And so when you have a project page, you have these projects, and you
Hmm.
can add milestones. You can create documents, but you can also add links. And so we often
Yeah.
use this actually. Um, let's see here, for example.
Yeah, these are amazing project management goals.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, basically it also helps you see it's really about managing. And then
Hmm.
Notion is for
Documenting.
documenting. Exactly, it's like your documentation tool. And also like looking at features, like what does a feature look like before it enters the actual build.
Yeah.
Mm.
um, and so the other two things I want to show here are the jobs to be done, which is
Oh wow.
basically also a Notion that helps. Like, okay, these are all the jobs that we discussed. How our solution works, how our solution doesn't work, our votes to how we are doing out of three,
Hmm.
Mm.
how others are doing it, and
Hmm.
then connecting to the
Oh.
features. So which features can solve this,
Very nice.
these issues. And so, for example, receiving contributions, right? We want to make it really easy for people for creators to receive contributions, also known as make it really easy for funders to contribute. And so we do it by funding on chain with Lightning, receive all in one place and one Lightning address. Uh, Also making it free to run if you're running a node. It takes like 10 seconds to fund. It's a really good user experience. Our solution doesn't work. Only Bitcoin, no credit card. So actually we're closing off a lot of people by not enabling fiat payments. Um, it's also tiring to send funders to Geyser, right? So this is feedback we got that people have to send their people to Geyser in order to fund them. And so, for example, Zaps are solving that because Zaps are a seamless way of getting zapped for free. Well, for free, but from other platforms, you don't have to even come to Geyser. And so we've sort of integrated that actually now. So we can
Oh
put that
yeah.
in Zaps integrated. Not entirely because you have to add your, well, kind of is. And so these are some other things that we can do to improve basically getting funded from other platforms. So like projects posts going to Nostr, people zapping from Nostr, all or nothing crowdfunding, credit card payments, split contributions, subscribing to a project, and project goals. And so there's a lot that we can do. Now what are we actually going to do, right? That's another question. So here we actually also have so this is basically where it connects to to our features page. And so the features page is just like the list of every idea that comes in our minds.
Oh
and
wow.
and also assigning to a particular quarter,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So every quarter we have a plan of what to build in the following quarter. And so I mean, I doubt many people are going to be watching this video. I hope not. uh, but anyway, we're gonna go open source, so why not? But yeah, this is sort of like you got fourth quarter, you've got stuff in the backlog, and like it's my job to kind of keep it clean, keep it organized, um, have like essentially assign particular what's it called particular like priorities to each of these issues. So for example, PWA, was high, we did it. Geyser relay, we did it. And here we have essentially assigning a value 1 out of 3 for how much value does this add to creators, how much value does it add for contributors, and then how much more funding does it enable on Geyser? Because at the end of the day, that's how we make a living. And so we want to maximize and really pay attention to this variable. And then this just takes an average of these. And so we can also sort automatically by these 3 variables. And then based on that, you can see here the prioritization of the quarter, and it's connected to a jobs to be done, right? So you can see here that showing the contributions history. Right now, guys, we're not showing the history of your contributions. So this is connected to purchasing a reward. So if you purchase a reward right now, you cannot see the history of your reward purchases. So to solve the job of purchasing a reward in Geyser, we need to also show the history of reward purchases, right? So you can kind of see it here. And it also has a score. Oh yeah, so basically the score here is this average.
Wow.
So it took us a long time to get here. I'm not saying people should do this like this, but this really helped us to have a very lean kind of structure that then have a structure and a plan, and then we can always revisit the plan and always are quite agile. But this helps us kind of keep our priorities straight.
Yeah, it looks so clean too. That's a plus.
Yeah.
So clean. Is this in
linear? Sorry, Notion.
This is in Notion. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see, we assigned it's sorted by quarter. So for example, quarter, next quarter, fourth quarter, which is in a week, we hope to start working on credit card. We're not going to be able to do that actually right away. We're still probably going to be carrying over some of these issues. But yeah, this is a lot of this is happening. So yeah, that's sort of how we operate. Let me show you now. I don't know, any questions of that before I move over?
No, none from my side.
I was going to ask you, you said Notion is, the place documentation happens, you're keeping track of all of these things and how they're connected. Is it also, would you say, the place where kind of an idea starts and you start to define the idea and see how it fits in?
Right. So if we talk about the app now, so yeah, this is more the repository. When it comes to coming up with ideas, it's a hard one.
That's more of a free form, discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we haven't had any new ideas in a long time. Because it's all all kind of a bit obvious.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. We definitely had some breakthroughs, but they're just always very messy discussions. A lot of discussions, calls. Again, doing user research, taking in user feedback, but it can't start here. And so, for example, we might be starting a conversation in Discord, and then a lot of new ideas pop up, and then you have basically you take it from Discord and you start populating it here, maybe structuring it all out. So this is enhancing rewards. This went through basically a lot of this is okay. To find a solution, we actually need to look at a lot of the data. Let's look at what we understand about rewards, how rewards are being used on Geyser right now. Let's look at what Kickstarter is doing. So let's look at internal data. Let's look at external data, and then based on all this information, what's the best possible solution? And so here you can see there's a lot of data of how are people buying stuff on Geyser, even market research, how do WooCommerce does it, how do Kickstarter do it. Here are all the features that we could possibly use to solve all these issues. And we didn't actually use a lot of this, but it was kind of good groundwork.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. So you are like, in order to start running with something to create the next feature or solve the next problem, that's where you're going to kind of like capture all of the information you might need in order to build it.
Exactly. So so the ideas may happen from conversations, from research, from just discussion on Discord, from having a shower and kind of like, oh my
Right.
god,
Right.
and then you're like, okay, I have to put this down, and the
Right.
features table is where you put it down.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
awesome.
and it turns out like maybe a lot of these, and most of them are like backlog or archived, right? So for example, I don't know, like um, building an Umbro app, a Geyser Umbro app. Like we really
Mm,
want to do this. Like we really want to do this, but we don't want to. Like we just don't have the time right now. It's not something that we should prioritize. And
mm,
so, but maybe like one day I'm obsessed with this. It's like, oh yeah, this would be so incredible. And so I go in and I kind of talk about what are the pros, what are the cons, and then writing it all down helps me
yeah.
prioritize it in the first place. And so
Yeah.
if you go on if you go on new and you can create a new feature, it also has this template, which is
Oh, right.
this the same template is just like what issue is it solving, and this is like at the foundation of how we operate on geysers. What problem is this feature solving, right?
Mm,
This is always because you can get excited sometimes with something, but you have to
hmm.
come back to reality and say, okay, what problem is this solving,
Yes,
and if it doesn't solve any problem, then what is it doing, right?
that's
So what's
important.
the
Yeah.
issue, what's the solution, then how do you like, what are the musts, what are the shoulds, what are the coulds? So like if you want to, in the actual implementation, this feature must do this, or a user must be able to find the Geyser app on Umbro, right? A
Mm,
user must be able to connect his Umbro relay to the Geyser project. Like these are all the features related to that,
yeah. Wow.
implementation, design. Yeah, and then also thinking about launch strategy. What would be the perfect way to
Mm.
communicate this thing? It's not enough to build it. You
Oh,
actually have to
yeah.
bring it to the market and in the best possible way that people will understand it. And so that's kind of part of the discussion we also have. Um,
Right. Yeah. Very good. Very cool.
Learned so much from you both. Honestly, it's been really incredible, and I really love to put this together in a case study because just all of the resources that everything has been used throughout the whole sprint has been so yeah, so such a big learning journey. Also, this thing of taking research to product, and yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So let me quickly show you what we're working on.
yeah, go for it.
Um, so yeah, maybe is it okay to stop screen sharing now? As in, sorry, to stop recording.